YouTube? This is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the P-Bandai exclusive HG Heavy Gundam from Origins. Now this Heavy Gundam is a little bit different, or it may look different, compared to the one we got from the Master Grade version, because this is actually from the Origins line. First of all, I'm pretty sure some of you guys are wondering on why are you guys seeing a review on a Thursday. To put it simple, I'm getting flooded with kids. Now, this week, to be technical, to this Friday, the HG Gym Guards Custom is supposed to be releasing in Korea because it got delayed. I don't know why, but it was supposed to come out last week, but it's gonna get delayed. So I want to review that on this weekend. Also, I got a according to the Bandai Mall Korea website, that the P-Bandai exclusive HGUC Every that I pre-ordered will be arriving this weekend as well. And if it does happen to arrive around Saturday, I want to review that. I will try to review that, but if not, at least it will be reviewed next week. And if I skip that or went on head straight with that, the Heavy Gundam will get delayed a lot. So that's why I'm making a review right now. And also, it's my day off from work. Alright, so once again, this is from the Origins line, and I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. We are getting so close to the actual RX-78 Origins version. Basically, to some people you might say it's just the same old local type. For this one, I'm gonna say no. The build on the body, well, the inner frame, the joints are pretty much the same, but the way how you build the kit is very different. Well, minus the joints, of course, because for example, the body, the structure may look the looks may look similar, but the inside structure is actually different. And I'm really glad, because with this, in a few months later, if they do release the RX-78, the original version, it's going to be fantastic, even way better than the first local type we got. Alright, so before we actually go on to the review, let's go on with its components. First of all, what you get, of course, is the Heavy Gundam itself. Now, the Master Grade version is in brown. We get this one in black, because of Origins, of course. First of all, I'm going to go with the leftover parts. Well, sort of. You get some leftover polycaps, that's the only leftover part. This is actually I was kind of surprised, because mostly when you buy a P-Bandai kit, 80% of the time that you get some leftover parts. This one you don't. Here are some sticker decals. I believe I only use two, one for the shoulder, two for the shoulders, so that's pretty much it. The rest is pretty much it should be similar to some previous versions. And we get some stickers, mostly for the eyes and the front and back head camera. Alright, now let's go on with the components. Well, yeah, actual components. So here's what you get. You get a different looking, whatchamacallit, you get a different looking beam rifle, I believe. And then you get a trigger finger for it, and I'm just going to leave it right there. And you get two beam saber effects, which I'm not going to demonstrate, because you should know how they work at this point. If not, oh well. The shield is pretty much the same from the previous FSD version. Nothing too different from here. The only difference, I guess, would be how you connect it to the arm. Or yeah, kind of similar but different. And here is the main finale of the kit, the flame launcher. Once again, I'm not really sure why they call it the flame launcher. Someone mentioned me it's more like a reference to some other war. But yeah, so before I go on, I'm gonna have to take this part off, because the way how this connects was kind of more simpler than I thought. Okay, now let's get on to the review. Now, I'm going to go with mostly all the articulation this time. This won't be a similar review, because, I don't know, I feel like this one should deserve its own original review. Now, here's just a side-by-side comparison. Now, there are some different parts. As I mentioned, the main body build is different. You can see that there are some extra armor here. Different front skirt, different leg designs, different, how should I say, different shoulder designs, and yeah, etc. And yes, I am aware that they're releasing a roll-out version of the Heavy Gundam, which is basically a white version with green stickers. I am so getting that, because I love how that color looks, or feels like. And for the record, as far as I know, The Heavy Gundam is basically a full armor Gundam, but instead of having like additional add-on armor, this one's actually like having built-in armor. So there's no like armor that you can cast off. So that's why it looks more natural. Then you don't really feel that the bulkiness, maybe except for on the belly part. All right, now let's get on with the review. Now, pretty much there should be like, same qualities like the head and such. The head, same articulation, can go down that much, up that much, 360. Do it on your own. It's technically possible. I want to look at the backpack first because the backpack is actually one of the main different areas on this kit. Because as you can see, this thing has 3 thrusters. This thing, the FSD version, has 5 thrusters. So that's that. The one thing I really loved about this change is that the way how the beam saber plugs in. Now this time you actually get a full hole for the actual beam saber, because the previous versions, including the FSD, as much I love the Gundam local type line, the only thing I really hated was the floppy beam saber connections, because they would not stay on. They would flop around and then suddenly fly off. This one does not have that issue, which I am extremely happy about. You get 3 thrusters, once again, ball joint, nothing too different at all, and you get its cannon, which can move about, about 80 degrees in total, and you don't need to worry about it falling off. Okay, now let's get the main body. The main body, once again, I know this is supposed to be like armor, but I really don't know like if this chubby belly looking one was a good idea, but yeah. You can definitely see it's really protecting the cockpit section, and you can see the vents are actually different. While these ones are like the waffle line vents, yeah, I'm just gonna call those waffle lines, while the previous FSD version was like roundish ones. So yeah, I really do like the combination of black and orange. I never knew those were a really good color combination. So for the body articulation, this is the part I want to mention, is that it has a pretty good ab crunch. And can go a little bit to the back, only a little bit, but yeah. If I had to mention, the only issue is that even though it's fully connected, you might feel like this section is like there's like a small gap in there. So that might be a little bit problem to some people, but once again, not a big deal. For the arms, once again, different. The shoulders are actually different. The arms can go more than 90 degrees if you want to do so. I'm going to back up a little bit, and since it's on a ball joint, you can go 360 if you want to. The arm itself has a 360 twist, and then it has a double jointed bend, and has the armor that the Heavy Gundam actually has. The shoulders have a lot of good movement. It can go forward and backward, and there's like 2 turning points inside the joints. Let's see. As you can see, this part can come out to the side like that, and then the polycab inside can move can be moved again. So there's like 2 turning points on the connection. So that's that. Okay, the front skirt, once again, they finally got rid of the V symbol, which is always either a sticker. Of course, some kits do have them as color separated parts, but yeah. The front skirts, they're single pieces, but you can divide them into 2 if you want to do so, because there's the ball joint on the middle, and these orange parts are actually separate pieces. Same goes for the back. But however, the back skirt does not move at all. And there's a hole on this kit, but does not actually have any purpose. So mostly this is for the action-based connector. And the side skirts can move a little bit. And for the body itself, a 360 twist is possible. Okay, for the legs, it can go to the front 90 degrees, and then to the side almost 90 degrees. It's just the side skirt that's blocking it. You have a side swivel going on here, and then you have a double jointed bend, and your ball jointed feet. Yeah, it's ball jointed, and as you can see, the knee section actually separates right over here. So that's actually a very good effect. I can't remember. I believe there are some high grades that do this, but not too many. So I can't actually remember which high grades did that, but yeah. So basically, these premium Bandai kits for the local type from the Origins line, it's basically they're preparing for the RX-70, the original RX-70. Once we get it, it's going to be a fantastic kit. I can guarantee that, at least. Okay, now we've seen the articulation. Now let's look at its equipment. Now I'm just going to go to the obvious ones. The shield first. The shield, how it's connected. It's the same connector, but the way how this connects, it's not too great. you have to actually connect this to here, and then you have to replace this part. Yes, you saw this was like some sort of on a latch, but no, it's actually on just a hole in a peg system. So you have to reconnect it like that. So that's that. It's a shield. It's obvious. You can also check my FSD review if you're not really sure how the FSD was. The beam rifle, nothing too simple. Nothing too like different. Although I do really like that drum magazine sort of thing going on. The trigger finger, they only give you one trigger finger, which I was kind of hoping they would give you another one for the left hand, because I'm not gonna like demonstrate this. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? The one thing I'm gonna demonstrate is this, because okay, for the record, you can actually stuff this on the left arm if you want to do so. However, you have to take this part off. Just gonna mention that you can force jam it in, but you have to take this arm piece off. For the right hand or right arm, you just need to just place that in and then attach that single piece. There we go, and you have the flame launcher. I really love how this weapon looks. It's basically a Gatling gun with missile launchers on top of it, and you have this part, which is basically like for, you know, emitting steam out of it, I assume, for the heat. However, once you put this weapon on, the articulation might get limited for the arm, because it's going to be always at least bent, at least in this angle. So you won't be... So articulation wise, while with the weapon, you won't be having much articulation on this arm. You can like fold it a little bit more, but that's it. You won't be able to like fully like, you know, straighten the arm. This is as far as I can go. And despite its bulk, it's not that heavy. I mean, okay, the name is Heavy Gundam, but the kit does not actually feel that heavy. Although I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a thing, but yeah. So yeah, with this weapon, this is a really unique weapon. I mean, we don't have many gunpla kits or mobile suits that actually have like a whole Gatling gun that attaches to the arm, except for the Leopard Da Vinci and maybe the old Heavy Arms Gundam. So yeah, this is a very good collection to the, like, yeah, for the Origins line or the local types. And that's pretty much it. So for those who are like collecting the local type or local line like me, this is definitely a must kit. If you missed your chance of getting this version, there's another one coming out soon. As I mentioned, the rollout version. It's the exact same kit as this, but in white. So that might be actually more beneficial for those who are planning to color their kit. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the the Premium Bandai exclusive HG Gundam, Heavy Gundam. And if you basically like it, or if you're a big fan of the local type line, definitely for you. If not, you're not missing that much. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review. I still have more kits to buy and build and make reviews out. So please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.